Hey, so at the end of 2020, I made an Instagram post about my favorite songs of 2020, and I made a hashtag, hashtag this, hashtag that, just tagging some artists without actually tagging them. And Dan Deacon, out of everyone, Dan Deacon actually saw my post and liked it. Yay! Thanks, man. What's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite albums. Yeah, I'm going international, baby. Uh, and today I'm going to do an album review on the latest Weezer album, OK Human, which is a cover album of OK Computer. Actually, jokes aside, OK Human is the 14th LP from the famed alt rock band that is Weezer. And this is their 14th album. I think I've said that already. And on this album, they dabble a little bit into Baroque rock and pop rock with a lot of strings and a little bit of woodwinds pretty much appearing on every single track, and with the structure and the songwriting of every single track being way more refined and elegant, like I'm listening to an Eleanor Rigby off of Beatles' Revolver. And wow, this album is actually not bad. It appears that Weezer has hit another uh, good album, because if you haven't been caught up with Weezer's discography, you know that they have been dropping one disappointing after another. Even their own hardcore fans know that their albums are really, really inconsistent. Usually they're disappointing and bad. Sometimes they are good, but mostly bad. And OK Human is surprisingly a good release. I mean, they started off really strongly with their debut, the Blue Album, which is still one of the most seminal albums and most talked about alt rock albums so far in the world. And we also have Pinkerton, which is a bit of a fan favorite as well, but they themselves don't like it. The critics didn't like Pinkerton all that much as well. And then it's just one disappointing album after another. And then we have the White Album, released in 2016, which is surprisingly good. It's catchy, it's rocky, it has a lot of energy and attitude. It's like they're back to their usual formula, until in the next few years they follow the whole millennial pop thing, and their music once again becomes very bland, especially for the album Pacific Daydream, which is still Weezer's worst effort to date. But they have decided to dabble into Baroque rock, and it had worked out for them really, really well. So, yeah, all my favorite songs is a single, also the album opener, and it opens off really humbly and nicely, where Rivers Cuomo, the frontman of Weezer, are asking himself, why are all his favorite songs so slow and sad? All my favorite songs are slow and sad. And then afterwards you have Aloo Gobi, which is my favorite on the entire album. Holy crap, this is one of the best Weezer songs in a long time. The string backed instrumentations is really well arranged, and it is incredibly punchy and catchy. And the chorus is also extremely catchy and memorable. The very aggressive vibrato leading up to it is a nice touch as well. Lyrically, this song is about the mundane routines that Rivers Cuomo had to go through every single day, and he's sort of going, kind of boring. Life has become kind of bland and boring because of all this mundane routine that I'm going through, and it's a very, very relatable statement. Of course, of course, you have the chorus. Oh my God, what's happening to me? And then the third track, Grapes of Wrath, is also kind of funny and also really catchy. We get these really awesome swinging horns and strings, and we have lyrics where he just makes references to like different English literatures that I guess, like a, if you study like a high school, in an American high school, like you have to study these in an English class, like Moby Dick or something. I don't know, but the chorus, rock my audible headphones, grapes of wrath. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, I have to admit. Next up, we have the track Numbers, which is like a very theatrical solo moment where if he's the main character of a musical and he just got like a really really low score on or on a test or was yelled at by a boss, he's just having a bit of a solo moment with this very dramatic flute backed sort of more slower paced song about how why is life full of like numbers, man? You know, like my IQ is not high enough, this number is not high enough, my EQ is not high enough, my this score is not high enough, that score is not high enough. Why is life judged with numbers? And yeah, I guess that's kind of a sad reality, even though I really rely on those number systems, you know, and I think we all do, you know, and me being in college right now. But yeah, I love the sweet rush of strings. I like the flutes, and this track kind of reminds me of like a song off of X and Y by Coldplay, and in a really good way. The next track is even more dramatic, and it's called Playing My Piano, where Rivers Cuomo talks about playing his piano, where his wife is upstairs, his kids are upstairs, and he's downstairs fiddling with the keys, playing with his piano, and it's so dramatic. And he's sort of talking about, you know, how he zones out on his piano and his love for playing piano, how he hadn't washed his hair for 3 weeks because he loves playing piano so much. And it's good. It sounds great as well. I like the more slow paced cuts on this album as well. The next track, Mirror Image, has a more of a gospel-esque vibe to it. Maybe it's because of the very huge bold chorus and the layered vocals. And this track is so immediate, it almost sounds like an extension of the previous track. We have lyrics saying, "She is my mirror image," and Rivers Cuomo talking about how, you know, his daughter is his mirror image and all that. And the lyrics, they're really nice. The sentiment is really beautiful. And we also have a nice muffled outro. And even though instrumentally, I won't say this is one of the better ones off of the entire album, I still think it's not bad at all. The track Screens has some fun sticky strings and a nice rocky chorus. However, melodically, it's one of the more forgettable tracks here. Lyrically, it's even more confusing, where Rivers Cuomo sort of talks about his fear of technology, like, oh, one day my daughters are going to be staring at screens and they're going to be so detached from reality. It's like this dystopian future. And it's kind of weird because it's not like they're, you know, it's not like Rivers Cuomo is a boomer or something. So it seems very out of place for him to sort of comment on something like this. Like, you're not 70 years old right now, right? The next track, Birds, with a bird with a broken wing, and also Dead Roses, are two back-to-back slow-paced melancholy tracks that the album so desperately needs because of the very fun first like 5 songs. And I think the first one, Bird with a Broken Wing, is okay. I think it's forgettable a little bit instrumentally, but the track Dead Roses, I actually prefer this much better than the previous one. It's also very sad, and we get the moody clarinets, which pairs with the rocky instrumentations really well, and we have a nice, simple, emotional chorus that I think is memorable, and the emotions, they feel passionate, they're conveyed well. The last 2 tracks of the album include Here Comes the Rain, and La Brea Tar Pits. Here Comes the Rain is a really jaunty, catchy, fun piano song after an interlude led up to it. And lyrically, it's a little confusing because it feels really optimistic on the surface with, oh, there's a rain cloud, it's going to wash all my troubles away. And up. Okay, this is better. And when you look into the lyrics a little bit closer, it's about internet blowback or maybe cancel culture, but it doesn't necessarily specify which side Rivers Cuomo stand on, so we're just gonna leave it at that. But still, instrumentally and melodically, good song. Next up, we have Brea Tar Pits, the album ending, which is a really solid album ending with really warm, nice vocal harmonies, solid pianos and strings. And even though it's not one of the strongest tracks melodically, in my opinion, I like the lyrics where he sort of talks about how these tar pits are sinking and how it's sort of metaphorical because he's getting old and being more and more irrelevant, and he's saying he won't go out without a fight. And yeah, nice ending, honestly. Yeah. So, Weezer's latest album, OK Human. It's surprisingly not bad. It's surprisingly good, actually. The first half of the album, great song after another. The second half, not as great, but still has its highlights. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I guess one complaint I kind of have with this album is that it sounds very, very vanilla. Like Rivers Cuomo throughout the entire album sounds like he's a middle-aged dad wearing a white shirt and long pants, trousers, just playing his piano in the middle of a suburban house in the middle of nowhere. And yeah, it just sounds really vanilla, but that's actually kind of the point of this album, especially with lyrics about, mundane routines and also simple song lyrics about family and technology and relevancy and his love for music, and it very much fits the style as well, the Baroque pop rock style. So yeah, still good. Favorite track here, Aloo Gobi, and my least favorite is Screens. I am giving Weezer's OK Human a decent 8 out of 10. So, if you listened to Weezer's OK Human from 1 to 10, how much you rate it, like it, and subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching. I will review Black Country New Road. Latest album for the first time, Brass by Moore Mothers, and Billy Woods and Slow Tie Tyrone, even though it's not out yet, and Madlib, Sound Ancestors, perhaps, and a couple classic albums on the way. Yeah,